This is Marissa Lenti, and you are about to watch a Dicejunkies gameplay video.
This is BloodX, and welcome to another Dicejunkies gameplay video. As always, we hope you enjoy.
Everybody, this is Q. As you know, I've been learning alongside you as I have been playing the great Elden Ring, and we got some videos that came out after the intro showing live action, playing to get like showing live, or should I say in real time, me learning what is good, what traits work really well, and I've come to some shocking discoveries that maybe somewhere they talk about it, but you don't see it on an initial search. But things that are just crazy. I mean, yeah, some of them you'll see other places about powerful items like the Sword of Night and Flame. So I'm not going to rehash that. Really powerful sword. I'm actually doing a new build. I'm going to be deleting this playthrough to do a Mystic Surge that I talked about in another video. My Intelligence Faith Hybrid Supercaster. I've already got the character built and will be starting as soon as I finish this video. But before I did that, I said, there's some things people need to know about that are just like, the results are so shockingly important. One of the biggest things is, as you see, it's only a level 5 Sword of Night and Flame. The reason why is because when you're playing this game, you only have access to so many somber shards early game. Now, I've gotten over here because I finally killed I met the requirements to get to this area, and I could go into the capital, but I want to do some more. But up in this area is a lot of important things that will allow you to boost your weapons and get more shards, smithing shards to do that, but it's not available. So you have a very limited supply that you can get from these areas and in here before you start taking out, because you can actually get over here without even taking out Godric. It's not even required to defeat Godric or anyone else to get this much of the map till about here unlocked. This is going to be your cutoff. So if you want to get a weapon and you know the weapon you want, then you're going to want to not do like I did and be upgrading all your stuff. Your Sacred Flame and your God Killer. You're going to want to pick the item you're going to use. Preferably, just use the finger Sacred Seal. It's got great scaling on Pure Faith. And until you get the later seals, there's no real reason to burn your very, very important shards on that unless you're just going absolute casting, which is possible. You're going to want to probably upgrade a weapon. The wing, you may have seen later talk about the wing scythe. This is a ridiculously good faith weapon, worth putting the points in to meet the stat prereq, or with a simple accessory you can meet this. This weapon hits incredibly hard, but the real thing that makes this weapon insanely broken, here we're going to throw on an item to meet the prereq. The Sword Seal, the Scar Seal adds 3 to your stats. The Sword Seal adds more. You can get this pretty early on, pretty easily. You just look it up. Like I said, I'm trying to cover just some of the important things. But the main reason is simply this. That is why. This weapon's weapon ability, the Angel Wing, interrupts, hits insanely hard. This weapon does bleed. This is a very important weapon that you may want to focus on. Even if you're a strength faith build, that move is so good, it's worth it even over some of the strength faith weapons because of the sheer speed and range of the come out and the fact that it almost always interrupts. You can just walk up to an enemy and just start smacking them with it safely with no threat. There's no threat. Like I go up against even ogres and this will hit them. It's low cost. You can spam it and bleed them out. So very high tier weapon for a faith build, worth putting the points in to get. Literally, you'll find yourself in a lot of fights choosing to not even bother casting spells. You will actually just use the sight. But I mean, that time it missed, which only happened. Oh look, even the backbone got him. Look how much health he lost. Look at that. Note that I changed this build to Wield the Knight in Flame, so this is not even the original build I showed you, where I had much more faith and strength. And that's the power of that weapon. Now, it has been upgraded several times, too, but that's how powerful it is. That enemy, if you watch my other videos, was taking lightning bolts to the face. It was taking full dragon blast. Yeah, level up the sights, walk up, bam. If I'd have hit both swings, he'd already be dead. So this weapon is very incredible. I'll come back and give more Knight and Flame coverage when I do the thirds, my intelligent faith build. But basically, this weapon is far more challenging to get, but can be gotten without having to kill a single boss. Very, very powerful. It does 3 types of damage: physical, magic, and fire, which means it really racks up damage fast. It has possibly the craziest ability because it's got the sword draw, you think, like the other weapons. No, this is friggin' called FU. This is FU power. Because when you go into this, if you hit light or spirit attack, what happens is you basically decide you want to hurt somebody's feelings. So, it's wrong, double wheel. So, when you hit light trigger, you're going to cast the friggin' beam. And that thing is insanely hard hitting. If you hit heavy attack, you throw out a fire wave. A little slow, but the radius is massive. This weapon's only level 5, and it already hits harder than my sight with a special attack. But the charge up means some of the fast enemies will get you. So, then the sight tends to come out so fast it interrupts. So, both of these are solid weapons. But here's what I really wanted to get to. There is a debate about what is the best spirit ashes to summon. And I came to a shocking discovery. As you know, I don't like there's a method to level right here, and it doesn't require combat. But in order to sharpen my combat skills and test my build, I go to Fort Farish. Because there are insanely difficult enemies in this little place I'm outside of that are also very tough. There is a, harpy in there. There are bats and there's harpies, and the harpies are tanky. If I can tear them up, I know the build is working. But there is a new Spirit Ash, I say, especially because you can get it fairly early on, the Caden Cell Sword, which can be acquired from, my favorite spots, the Church of Vows with Turtle Bro. As a guy who grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man, I love my Turtle Poke. Turtle Poke's the best. Well, in the, it gets the answer, no. This is what happens when you get old, people. Your memory is the first thing to go. But there is do I not have a safe spot? Cliff Bottom Catabombs, I believe, is the place you can get it. All right, so not near Turtle Bro, but you can get the Caden Cell Sword. If I'm wrong, just take a peek, look it up. The main reason I bring him up, though, is that this dude hits hard. You'll notice that your summons rarely kill anything. And for a while, I was running my ashes specifically. Because I had tried, somebody had rated and suggested as one of the best ashes for summoning was, because he's also one of the special ashes, costs a lot. Where the heck are my spirit summons? Let's see, here we go. Was Mr. Lutel the Headless. Nah, he's good at staying alive, but he teleports around, he doesn't draw aggro, he doesn't attack often enough. So I started using the Depraved Perfumer because he uses status, he uses poison, he shoots those out fire. He basically uses these perfume attacks, which are pretty good. And he can take a licking. It also sometimes use Banished Knight Oleg because of his aggression. If you want a guy that's going to get on the enemy and get in that tail, it was Oleg. But then I realized I was all wrong. The Caden Cell Sword may be the most single powerful thing I've seen. I've used the Mad Pumpkin. He is the joke. I mean, I haven't got a chance to try it in Central Followers, but he is a joke compared to the Caden Salesman, who, to be blunt, is one of the hardest hitting ass summons. So hard that I had to tell you about it, because he actually can do something almost none of your other ashes until you get to some of the really high ends. I think they say the Omen Killer is the strongest. Makes sense. I fought one of the Omen Killers. They wield 2 huge weapons. Like, take the Caden Swordsman I'm about to summon, Cell Sword, and imagine if he was toting 2 weapons. But until you can get that, this dude is freaking overpowered. He is an absolute beast. We're going to activate this bat. And I'm going to show you the kind of damage. See, he buffed his damage. And remember now, that's a tough enemy. This is the main area. That dude is tough. He killed them all by himself. Like, he just slaughtered that guy. Just slaughtered that guy. The Caleb Sellsword basically put that guy in the ground. And now I'm going to let him fight them. And watch this. These guys are way tougher. They just took the Knight of Flame Sword blade like it was nothing. But look at him. He's still in there. He's still handing out massive damage. The guy does take damage. But these guys also hit on usually hard, so you can't really judge them on that. These guys don't really mess around. But, I mean, you see they're taking what's considered to be one of the strongest weapons in the game, abilities head on, and he hits that hard. If I were to go to an area that was lower tier, you can see in the bottom corner, I'm racking up because the bats are worth like 800 and something a kill, and the harpies are worth like 15 to 16. So that place has like about 6 enemies or so in there. So it's real easy to rack up like 8,000 or 9,000 and get a good fight going. But that swordsman can kill on his own. Like, there ain't a lot of places, like I said, you can actively test your summons, because a lot of times you use your summon on bosses and they're dead. But that's one of the spots you can, and you can see he very clearly got the job done. I think there's one more spot. The manner where you get the sword itself has some large hand enemies out there that are annoying. I might give you a chance to watch me die. We all know you love to see that. So let's go over there, and I think you can go in here and summon at will. These enemies are more reasonable. They're more around, you know, a normal amount of health, because that area down there, I found out you don't get sent there until way late game. Like, it's a late game thing to be asked to go there and do something. So that is definitely an area that we probably shouldn't. I mean, we already knew the rewards weren't usually high, but that's a late game area. You see the hands up there? Those guys will definitely kill me if I F up and let them hit me. The lazy bastards don't want to come up off the wall, though, so we're going to tag them with something that hopefully won't be fatal, so we can see the sellsword do his job. All right, you saw that. You know how hard my lightning bolt hit. You saw that damage. Now look at him get in there. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting. Is like, if he can get out of his stagger lock, he is capable of killing that by himself. He is one of the few summons that will literally kill enemies on his own. You see him, he's putting the damage, bam, minor enemy dead. He's fighting this special enemy. This enemy's worth over 1,000. It's considered a major battle. I mean, they literally let you summon back up in this fight. And as you see, he is putting them down. The sellsword hits so hard for him to be not a boss, for him to be something that you can get a hold of. Now, like I said, he takes damage because what it is, he's my favorite type of summon from my style. He is the summon that, yes, fire makes the hands distract themselves, which is naturally very useful. But he's my favorite kind of summon. Oh, crap, I'm out of magic. He also costs a lot to summon. Like, he is like a 100-point summon. But the sellsword, like I said, is extremely offensive. He casts that buff on himself, and then he goes to work. Now, for some reason, he went stupid. I guess he felt he did enough. You know, he's like, I've done my work, I owe you nothing. But for hitting that hard, yeah, you want to get the mad pumpkin head I had for tanking, because he can really take a licking. But the sellsword does damage. If you need a wingman to help you kill something, he can do it. Even better, he's not considered to be like a special summon, so you can boost him with grave flowers, which you find much easier than ghost flowers. Well, that depends if you're crazy like me, again, jumping in places you don't belong. I ran around with ghost flowers. I didn't even find any grave flowers yet. But you can find grave flowers like above ground. I was all underground. So, incredibly powerful. Doesn't cost 100 plus to summon like some of the others. Because, I mean, some of those ashes get way up there. I mean, it's not cheap at 88. But if you started as a confessor or a prophet, you have that. You know, I mean, I'm not looking at my stats here, but you usually start with 80 or close enough that you'll have it soon. You know, grab a couple of points. By the time you get to where he's at, you could easily have given yourself the points you need to summon him. I mean, he's cheaper than the pumpkin head. Because these guys over 100 took me actually putting some points in the mind to really get there. Like, you can see where it took some effort. But, like, that was something I could walk in the room, summon them on a boss, and then immediately drink a flask for magic, and let's get to work. So, I mean, there you go. And his melee damage is incredible. I've also heard that the archery-based enemies, I believe you can get an archery doll. This page may also be competent. He is holding a crossbow. Are surprisingly good because of their tendency to interrupt. Makes me wonder what the Twin Sage Sorcerer might do. We might see real quick, because another thing is when you're fighting a single boss, anything that interrupts him and hits him regularly will draw his aggro, which is naturally a good thing. Like, that's on our list of do want. We want them to sit up there and interrupt our enemies, keep our enemies on their toes. But I've heard that the best is supposed to be that, because I think you summon several. You summon the multi-arm archery dolls. Now, if you notice, okay, not bad. He's actually started fighting them like while they're on a wall. That already gives him a lot of credit. Because see, the enemies tend to have better range than you. So the fact he has a really good range, not bad. You know, he ain't tanky, so he ain't going to take a lot of hits. But as you can see, he is doing the main thing of he's getting on them, he's interrupting them, he's being aggressive, and I think he has infinite mana. So if you need somebody to back you up with range and attack enemies at a distance, it looks like he's more than capable. Though, of course, the catch is he's got to see them. Like, he apparently doesn't see that one. Now he does. His magic is not particularly high. But, see, that's the problem, man. Like, you got to watch out. Even with this weapon, sometimes this game, man, enemies are so fast. They can interrupt about anything. Now, if I was using the wing sight, would have been a problem. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have been able to see. Look at that. Like, From Software, man, this is what From Software is all about. They love giving enemies just an inhuman amount of speed. Just sheer insanity. And there you go. There's the death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never seen a game where the devs just go that far on the difference between you and your enemies. Like, there's so many things you do that are so slow that in this game it's almost painful how slow every move you have is compared to the speed of the guys you're going against. I mean, I've been fighting against guys and they're throwing out spells so quick, but when I'm casting, I'm just sitting here going like, this is painful. I mean, here's an example. I'll show you this for fun. The Grafted Dragon. Oh, it won't let me do it. I ain't got the stats. I was going to show you the special move from this weapon. It's so slow that it's like completely non-functional. Worst of all, it doesn't have that big a range. I mean, it's an area effect, but not nearly a big enough area effect that you'll ever trigger it in a fight. But anyway, the important thing is, for raw damage, that cell sword is an early game monster of raw, aggressive force. For weapons, nothing so far I've seen has beaten the winged scythe and the Sword of Night and Flame. As you saw its effects there, they were hitting quite well. Again, this is a late game area, and you saw that the shots are doing a lot. These FP cops are not accurate. I'm currently equipped with an item that is lowering the cost of skills. We'll take that off so you can see it properly. It's 19 and 23, which means that the beam is the same cost as my lightning bolt, but hits significantly harder than my lightning bolt, as you saw. Though, again, my stats are kind of split. So, you know, there is that. I had higher faith, but honestly, even with the higher faith, it would have taken a fully charged lightning bolt to even get close to the damage of that beam. So it does come out faster than a fully charged lightning bolt. I've also hit 2 or 3 enemies with it. It will, within its range, hit anything that's too close. The flame blast is wide as heck. Only costs a little bit more. One of the larger area effect sweeps I've seen in the game, and is distinctively faster than other area effects, like by a lot. Another important PSA, this is big, all right? I'm getting back to business, so I hope you're still here. Rotten Breath. I have found a little bit more about how this works, and I have discovered I was using it not even to its full potential. In order to inflict, make sure we got mana. In order to inflict the blood rot debuff, you seem to need to not only hit with it multiple times, you seem to need to be doing the fully charged. You hold down the trigger, watch it, it's going to blast, then it's going to go and do some more. That second part is the one that's going to usually inflict blood rot upon your enemy. Why is that a big deal? Well, after you inflict blood rot, I kept dying because I would continue to hit the enemy with fully charged blast. That is losing damage. That uses way more than you have to, because once an enemy has been taking the DOT, key part, they're taking the DOT. Carrier Breath does way more damage every time you hit them after that. I don't know what it's about, but it's crazy. You seem to get a significant buff to the blood rot damage. The first shot will literally do a smidge of health, and then after they got the blood rot, I shoot them again. They take a massive amount of damage compared to the first. So you're actually better off doing this and just going quick shot. You know, ride off, get around them, quick shot, start it up, hit them again, ride off. And I have now have a much more efficient dragon killing strategy with this. It works really well once I got, and you can usually walk into a dragon or big enemy, or once you're, or in the case of a boss room where they're going to be already aggro on you, once your mini guy gets the aggro, be aware that that From Software don't play. The enemies ain't dumb. Once you inflict blood rot on the enemy, even if they're attacking the ally, they're going to come beat the ever-living hell out of you. Like, they come for you hard. So be aware, you're going to draw their attention. So usually after that first one, unless they're stuck in a long recovery, go ahead and get ready to dodge. Get ready to dodge, and hope his attention gets captured or he gets stuck in their animation. Then tag him. Another interesting little trick that I've used on the map to abuse some positioning. At first, I kind of thought that the variant of this spell you couldn't use from the force sucked. We don't have it loaded up. That let you know how I felt about it. I really did get annoyed with it. But the main version that you float up in the air before you shoot, never enough to really avoid anything, unfortunately. Part of the problem. But you know, it does hit a little harder, and it does. When you're in a dungeon, you're going to want to go ahead and use that version. This is going to do even more damage. Did find out some interesting things. And I think it even said it under the skill, but I've used this to very, very disgusting effect in some positions, such as getting behind the wall or getting there. And that is that you can do it from a jump. So you can actually jump over an attack and then initiate it. Well, I don't know why I didn't go off that time. All right, it's being, oh, well, I guess I need to have it equipped. Shut up. But that means that you can literally, okay, now it's just messing with me. Let's see. Did this happen before where for some reason it wouldn't trigger? I don't know what that's about. I apologize. I have not figured out why sometimes the ability uses its jumping. There we go. Yeah, I had to re-equip and unequip it. Don't ask me. And you can literally do it from in the air. And it will literally stop you midair. Like, it will actually allow you to float. Sometimes getting over-attacked. And even being able to be used to kind of counter. The ability to just float in the air can avoid damage. And sometimes can be used when jumping from a high area to literally jump down on an enemy's head and manually aim and spray them with the poison. Which is pretty friggin' cool, if I'm going to be honest. This is very tactical, and there's a way to abuse this so awfully. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick tip for the people who have the patience to put up with me long enough. They get to learn some accused dirty cheats. I've killed a lot of overworld bosses in the most unfair way. From Software, I'm sorry. Y'all know how hard your games can be, and I ain't playing my warrior, okay? If I was playing my heavy armor warrior, that's going to be my next one after this. I'm going to bring back Big Baylor. I just call him Baylor with my big build. And we're going to go armor, shields, and I'm going to fight everything face to face. But we sniping with this. And one of the snipes is that when you get to the castle, here, you see I'm outside the castle. This place is death trap. There's archers everywhere. You're going to die if you try to go up the stairs. So what you do, and you see those statues, that's pretty much what was going down. One is that you can actually go along the side here the whole way. You can come along the side of the valley here, just stick close to the wall. Now, where that crater is, was a boss, another boss, Star Beast, very dangerous. But he can't do nothing. You know, you keep going, he can't do nothing. He can't get up here. And actually, I killed him the same way I'm about to tell you I killed the other guy. But what was dirty, what I did to this, we had the tree guardians. Yes, you know that guy. Remember when you first walk out the door, big armored knight? Well, they gave you 2 of them suckers here. And you don't get the rewards unless you kill both of them. I know because I killed one and then died and then found out it didn't count. Well, turns out you can take your butt right over here. Be careful, they have long weapons, so they will sometimes hit you. But they'll usually roll around below you trying to hit you. I did it from horseback because I didn't know yet the full horrors of the jumping breath weapon. And you already saw I had some height. Like, this gives you a bit of height anyway. This gives you a decent bit of height. But you can also straight up get off your horse and get over here, and you can, when you see it open, you can jump. And, oh Lord, no you didn't. All right, hold on. It's doing the thing again where it's not quite reading it. All right. And it didn't that time either. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know why sometimes you can't do it in the air. My only guess is that you've got to unequip and re-equip the spell because the jumping is glitched. If from software you do actually pay attention to me, that does need to be fixed because that can be frustrating in the middle of a dungeon stuff. Anyway, and note, I can fire directly over the edge. I can just literally fire over the edge there. That's for the Star Beast, you know. That was for the Guardian. You can use this, man, almost anywhere where you have that breath weapon. Now, you got to kill the actual dragon needed to get that one. The rock dragon, who, like I said, was down here. Right there. Get the save spot first. I was coming this way. I had to run from that sucker to get to the spot. And you can try to take him out. I mean, I used the flame breath to take him out. Again, don't use the fully charged unless they're really wide open. Just use the regular blast because it's so dangerous. Don't try to use the decay breath on the decay dragon. I'm pretty sure you're already aware of that, but I don't know. Maybe we got kids in here don't know the rule of elements from us old school RPGs. But I've taken out Erd Tree Guardians and everything. There's almost enough. If it's not resistant to decay, then it's going to die at my hands with that. It's going to go down. So I wanted to hand that out and just say, once you get the blood rot inflicted, do the normal breath. You will see it do incredibly racking up damage. I mean, I'm not even super spec for it. I killed an enemy with this stat spread where I went and lowered my faith to wield this sword. And I took out, I think it was the other Star Beast. No, I took out the one of the Dragonkin soldiers in the underground. Big-ass dragon guy, knight. Badass enemy. Killed me quite a few times until I remembered that, because yes, when you get my age, you forget even that. When I remembered, I would go up, and while he was activating, I hit him with the full charge blood rot. Then I proceeded to start kiting him and just tap him. Well, I had, at that time, I think I still had my perfumer or my Mad Pumpkin to tank for me. Because, you know, I wanted him to tank in this case. And I just sniped him, and he was done. It was like so easy once I realized I just needed to snipe him, you know, with the breath weapon. So, Rot Breath is still the king of dragon breaths for everything that as you know, can be afflicted with it. Now, obviously, Decayed Erd Tree Guardians, the big tree men, are not able to be afflicted with blood rot. You got to use fire on them. Same general strategy, though. Only do a full blast when you have a chance, because it's going to burn a lot and leave you super vulnerable to getting smacked. And you're better off just sniping them over a period of time after you hit them with, like, they start off with the big one because it's a freebie half the time. They haven't aggroed yet. After that, just snipe them with the fire over and over. Drink your flask. Snipe them with the fire. You can beat any overwhelmed boss just about, especially when you have your horse that's not immune to it easily. I mean, it's really the key. So that's the PSA announcement. Just very important things that I shockingly discovered. Probably the final PSA, we'll see if the game will let me show you the other character, was I actually bought, actually I can show you in here, I think I still own it. Okay, the Prophet armor is trash, man. It's a starting armor, it's pretty trash. Look at that, it ain't that impressive, right? You know, what shocked me is that because it looked cool, and because he has certain stats for the Thurge, I'll go into that when I do a video about the Thurge character, to get the Knight in Flame, he already has a strength of dex. I got the Confessor armor. not the prophet, yeah, I got the Confessor armor. Turns out the Confessor armor is really freaking good. Look at that immunity. Look at that focus. Look at that vitality. Incredibly good resistance, but also good armor. And every piece is a really good piece of medium armor. Like, really good. To the point I was running around in it. I mean, I'll go ahead and give you a short preview, but like, each one of these pieces, look at this. 3.3, only slightly lower stats than the Vulgar. And remember, the Vulgar set's really good too, but that's a set that you get off of those enemies I was fighting. I showed you a while ago, the guy that I killed with the scythe. A very high level enemy and a unique drop. But we're comparing it to a frigging drop. When you compare this though to like other armor, like I said, it's highly competitive. Slightly lower poise, and slightly lower physical, but better magic and fire, a little bit more holy. So I mean, and more robustness. So this is easily comparable to this leather draped tabard. And the chain, again, numbers only slightly higher. Same thing for the headpiece, put it on. Other than the Vulgar Militia, which is a really good set of equipment, I've seen a lot of people wearing the Vulgar Militia. It's apparently quite popular. Look at this, a little bit heavier. It's got more physical, but look at that. It's just physical slash and pierce, and a little bit more poise. But look at the vast difference in immunity, and robustness, and focus, and vitality. So a lot of status resistance, slightly less physical than that, and lighter. Important, when you're playing a caster, every little point of an ounce actually matters. Similarly, the gloves are good. Like, this set is really freaking good. And I was surprised that he starts with such an excellent set, even though he's technically a caster. So the Confessor set is a solid. So I'm going to tell most people, go ahead and start as a Confessor. You start with 12 strength and 12 dex, which means you can wield whatever you see. You can put your hands on it, you can wield any weapon. Remember that you can two-hand the weapon in order to make it easier to wield, increase your strength by 50%. Starting with a 12 strength, that means that a Confessor can wield up to a strength 18 weapon. So, starting as a Confessor, you have the dex to wield most weapons. You have the dex to wield the crossbow if you decide to take the key, and then around the table with the crossbow. You have the stats to wield most weapons. You have the minimum stats to physical stats needed to wield the Sword of Night and Flame. You're only off by a little bit from the frigging Wind Scythe. You only need to go to 13 and 13 and go find the minor seal I showed you. Let's go ahead, which I don't remember where it is. Again, just take a look. But the minor one was very easy to find. I picked it up just wandering around. Like, it was not difficult. This, I think I had to get out of the castle. Out of the castle. The Stormvale. I believe that's the name of the first big spot here is Stormvale. But yeah, Stormvale. I believe I got it somewhere in there, that one. But like, I could have sworn I picked up the other seal just wandering around. And it adds 3 to all your physicals. Boom, you meet the base prerequisite. So being that close means all you're doing is boosting your faith. And if you want to use a Sword of Night and Flame, you're boosting your intelligence. But if you want to use the scythe, you're just boosting your faith. So you literally could use 2 levels to meet the physical requirements to get the 13-13. Go grab the item, you'll take more damage, but here's the great thing about the Wind Scythe. You're not getting hit if you're doing it right. If you got the Wind Scythe, you're using the technique, you're not even getting hit. So then you're just boosting your faith. Of course you're going for faith 24. You're trying to get up there to use the other stuff. You got a great weapon. Your melee's covered. Now you're just getting your arcane for your dragons. 15 is the highest you need to get the breaths. And honestly, the other dragon stuff, it's a joke by comparison. You find so much other stuff that replaces the claw and bite, even though they hit really well. The bite has terrible accuracy. I've missed down enemies repeatedly with it. The claw has a massive radius and can be done twice in a row, making it pretty good, but it's really slow. It is vastly slower than this. Like, by a lot. Well, okay, man, now I'm just embarrassing myself. But it is vastly slower than that. That comes out a lot faster, and honestly, has as big a radius, does pure fire damage. And knocks down. Like, has a pretty good poise breaking, can knock down. So, there you go. You've got the PSA. The Confessor starts with the best set of light armor I've seen so far. I honestly think it's better than even some of the other light armors. The only people that have better armor are literally like, you know, guys started with heavier armor, like the actual armored folks. The samurai armor is kind of on the lighter side, but pretty good. Or the land of reeds, as they call the armor, and so forth. But for all the casters, the prisoner set is tankier than you think, the helmet. But the helmet's also really freaking heavy. Like, my goodness, is the prisoner helmet heavy. But it's also, it's like a weird, it's exactly what you'd expect. The prisoner literally has like a heavy armor helmet, and then so-so outfit, but it wasn't too bad. But this looks good, is awesome. There's an option where you get certain customizations where you can take the cape off if you're a weirdo who doesn't love beautiful capes. If that's the case, I don't know what's wrong with you. I love my capes. But great armor. Literally, I ran around with this. To get my weight down, I ran around and fought for a while. And you got to realize I'm level 60. This armor is good enough for a level 60 caster to run around in. So, leave it to be said, you probably can run around in this armor for an extended period of time without any negativity, you know, or regretting it. And like I said, it looks incredible. So we've got the great starting armor, great stats, can wield most weapons. The two-handed thing, oddly enough, isn't mentioned enough in any forums. That's why I'm letting you know that PSA. It's very important for a strength build because you can basically go, oh no, I'm off by a few points. Oh wait, I can, for Xbox, I can hold Y, hit right trigger. Now I'm two-handing the weapon, and my strength is effectively, you know, higher for the purpose. I don't know if it shows in your actual stats. It isn't showing in your stats, but it's supposed to apply it. I wonder if we can actually test that and make sure that works correctly. Let's see. Let's take this off. No, that makes me miss the dex. I was going to try to put on, let's find a heavy weapon or one that requires a little bit more than the strength I have, but not too much more. Let's see. Let's look at an axe. Oh, that's a lot more. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the biggest thing is that you need dex, like, a lot. Like, way a lot. You'll find that a very common occurrence is that you're having more trouble meeting dex prerequisites than anything else. I found that particularly amusing when I was looking at stuff. I was like, you know, I have way more issues trying to meet these dexterities than I do. I also obviously don't carry a lot of heavy weapons for apparent reasons. But yeah, I don't have anything that falls in a range to properly test it. I guess maybe... I wonder if it works if you have on equipment that boosts your strength. That actually is interesting. What happens if we throw on the strength boost? Okay. I don't know how much I'm not wielding it effectively right now, but let's see. Okay, now we're two-handing it, and if it does it as a total, then I should theoretically meet the prerequisites for the item. Yeah, look, it took the red X off. Yeah, so let's go back to two-handed, and the red X is back on. So like I said, your strength boosts by 50% for meeting those prerequisites. This actually means that the best starting class is no longer really an argument. There used to be, oh, it's the vigilante, or it's this dude's got strength, this guy. No, actually, probably the best starting class is just the samurai. On top of having a great sword, he has a high enough strength that he can two-hand a weapon, and since he starts with a pretty good dex, like I believe his dex may actually be, we're going to see if it'll let me take a peek, but I believe his dex may be really close to 16. When it comes to starting the game with the ability to wield the most weapons, it's probably going to be the samurai for the obvious reason. We'll see, there's a really bad issue where if you quit in-game, it tends to have trouble loading the profile. Okay, good. Looks like it's not going to trip out. So, you know, we'll do a quick, let's just take a look at the classes here, and I'll show you, like, this debate has been going on. See, the Vagabond, just, come on, jump in there, has a really high vigor and a decent strength. And an okay dex. He's pretty broad across the board. And thus, he's a really popular starting character. Similarly, some people like the hero. I believe the hero starts with, the hero is a dexy one. So he's another good one. He's the one that starts with 16 dex. The samurai starts with 15 dex, strength 12, good endurance, good vigor. solid character, but the thing that I looked at was him and the hero, especially him, because 16 tends to be a hotspot number. You see a lot of 16s. He only needs to put one more point in dex to be able to count as a 16-16, well, as an 18-16. And you saw those weapons I was looking at. 18-16 is a very frequent combo to wield weapons. So in a single level, the samurai can very easily suddenly be able to wield nearly any great weapon you find early in the game, like the whole kit and caboodle. You're wants for nothing, as they would say. Like comparatively, the hero starts with a crap dex. Wow, that's awesome. This literally means there's not a lot he can wield, because you need dex for nearly everything. Pure strength required weapons are very rare. It's basically like big old hammers are about it, and they're not that common. So the champion, the champion here, actually is terrible at wielding weapons. He runs into a huge issue of he's probably not going to be able to wield anything but that axe until he boosts his dexterity. Conversely, I mean, he does hit hard, and if he two-hands that axe, which you probably should, he does jump to a 24 strength. So if you do find a strength-based weapon, he can wield all the way up to some of the highest tier strength weapons right off the bat. But you're way more likely going to run into the other case, and you're going to want to make your strength count as a 15, which a couple of points you can fix that to where you're getting an 18 too. Or for a single point, you go 18 strength, 16 dex. I can't find a weapon I can't wield probably. And that's it. You're good to go. So just a little last thing for like melee that I've already observed. I will probably do, I was going to do a dual wield samurai, but since I'm doing a third hybrid where I'm actually wielding the sword of Knight and Flame as a sword and the scythe, I've already done, that means I've done polearm melee and I've done fast sword. The sword's pretty quick. So, you know, we're probably going to be rolling our big boy as a vagabond or as a hero. You know, they both have a pretty good endurance, because what I want off the bat is to be able to pick up the heaviest stuff and still have a medium roll. I'm not quite confident enough. I don't think I know enough about using the shield to dive straight into sitting up there and fat rolling. But I'll probably end up fat rolling like I used to. I used to just build in a fat roll. But right here, this guy's already, I'll do Vagabond. Simple reason, he's got the dex. And because I can two-hand a weapon, the guy's got a lot of vigor. I don't even need to add anything to vigor for several levels. That's a solid vigor. I can start boosting his strength, dex, and endurance. You don't care about your mentals until you start trying to get some of the fancier weapons, and there's items that give you like 3 and 5 to your mentals as well. And you get more talisman slots. I'm up to 3 talisman slots on my other character, as you saw. So you can meet the prerequisites for equipment that way without having to put a lot of points. But you need these physicals. And with the 14 strength, he can hit a 21. He's got a dex 13. I can grab the biggest weapon I want, or I can grab a heavy weapon and shield right off the bat. That's what you're looking for. I mean, that's what you're going to want. Straight up. That's what you're going to want. So, all right then, people. As usual, these videos run a bit, and I got food ordered here, so I'm about to eat. Then let's go ahead and start the third. I probably won't show a lot of videos of the third, but the things you didn't get to see me show you, you wield, I'll try to let you see them. One of my intentions is for me to show the rot breath. So one of the other reasons I'm going to delete and start over, because I also want to enjoy it. There's so many quality of life things I've learned about the game, like the lightning bolt spell I told you about, that I want to go back and enjoy some of those encounters that were not fun. I felt like they were like frustrating and not fun because I was playing wrong, and now I can enjoy them. But I also want to show you the rot breath, to show you the king of breath weapons, at least until there's some legendary dragons later. Maybe they got some status afflictions we can play with, but right now you can get rot breath at the place. I showed in my last video. It's the Dragon Slayer, it's the Giant Slayer, it's the Erdtree Slayer, it's the Suck-On of the Horse Slayer, it's the Slayer of the Slaying Slayer, and I will try to show you at least one dragon kill with it. In fact, I might try to go hunt I might go try to go hunt the Rot Dragon first, because the other dragons are hard to kill. Well, the thing is, because the other dragons are tougher, like the third dragon's tougher, the one on the bridge. There is another dragon, I guess I could show me fighting him, but I want to show you a dragon that it'd work on. And with the way I like to kill dragons, I got to remember to show you the video. But we'll try to get you a video of Rot Breath versus a remaining dragon. I've killed every dragon with Talon, the character that your other videos is on. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to see how much it improves my gameplay experience to grab the Rot Breath first. Like, get a heart, run straight to the other dragon temple, get Rot Breath, maybe try to kill Agneil on a bridge, one of the toughest dragons in the game. You know, the Grail, or is it Grail, the flying dragon? You know, try to kill him, the one on the bridge near the area you saw in the videos, with it, and see if it works so well I could even kill him early. But we'll get you a video showing you the magic. Dragon magic is just no joke, but if you're an incantation specialist, you really don't need anything but Rot Breath and then Fire Breath for the guys Rot Breath don't work on. You know, which is like the Corrupted Erd Tree. You're going to want to use Fire. But all living enemies, that you will use that. The few enemies are also not alive, like the golems and their Fire. So Magic Breath is what I've been using. But now that I think about it, Ice may work better because I think the golems may be resistant to magic. There is an Ice Breath there. So I think I'm going to go Rot, Ice, Fire in that order. It's probably going to be, Rot, Fire, Ice in that order. Because Fire works on a lot of the Erd Tree Guardians of certain enemies. I mean, it works on a fine assortment of enemies. And then Ice for the Fire types that don't take Rot, and then we should be good. And then later on, unique stuff. Apparently there's a Magma Breath, there's some kind of Gold Breath. But there's a lot of other hidden dragon breaths out there. But there you go. All right, people. I will holler at y'all next time. And this game is amazing. Play it. It is fun. It is very enjoyable. The challenge may seem insurmountable. It is not. You can play with friends. I don't play with friends because I'm stubborn. And I want to test myself against the game. Plus, most of my friends don't play it. Only friend I got is, I got one friend that plays a little bit of it, and he's doing the same thing. I figure that when I play the game, it'll be when one of my friends gets it that doesn't play Dark Souls games, and then I can roll with him and help him out. Or some New Game Plus challenges may be the time. Second playthrough I may get with a couple of my friends, like Mace the Hydra is a gamer I play with who does Dark Souls types games. And we may try the harder difficulty, because there is a New Game Plus. Each time you get New Game Plus, you get up the difficulty another notch, all the way up to New Game 7. So that'll probably be when you see some co-op vids.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you found the content helpful. If you did so, please hit the thumbs up as it helps spread the channel for other viewers. As always, you can watch Dicejunkies live on Twitch at 3:30 Central Standard Time on Sundays. We also stream gaming content on Twitch throughout the week, so be sure to subscribe there as well. If you can, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're up to date on all the Dicejunkies content. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. They fucked my tomatoes up!